Welcome to episode 2 on shame, part 2. So I want to dive a little bit into what shame is. Like I mentioned last episode, I was like, I see it everywhere. But I've had so many conversations with people that are healers, that are coaches, that are therapists, and they're like, tell me more about what you see. And I just see it like, I just feel like shame is at the root of all the things. And as I discuss more with people, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I do see that. And then they'll come back to me and they're like, oh my goodness, it is everywhere. Like I see it everywhere. And so I want to describe a little bit what it is that I think shame is and what maybe shame isn't, and how we can kind of get on the same page about what it is so that you know what to expect when we're looking for it. Because I think that this work really is healing work, and I think it's beautiful work. And I think it's work that we get to do together. I think we get to do it in community. And I also think that we can do it on our own as well. So don't feel like you have to have somebody guiding you through. I think that oftentimes we can do the work inside. Sometimes we do need somebody to guide us through as well. Okay, so our conscious mind often thinks that we're great people, that we're doing an awesome job, that we have a successful business, that we have a thriving relationship with our partner, that we're good moms or good dads. Our conscious mind can often think that, and we can be like, yeah, that's great. But you know, when you're like chatting with a friend and you've had a really bad day and you're kind of like venting to them about all of this and you're like, I think I just really messed up. Like I am just not doing enough. And they start telling back to you what your conscious mind probably already believes. No, you're actually doing a great job and you just had a really hard day and it's totally fine. But it doesn't land. Like it kind of like comes here and just falls out of your head because it just doesn't feel true to you. That's often when shame is present. It's like the unconscious stuff, the subconscious stuff. I find that our conscious mind usually does already agree that we're awesome and amazing or whatever it is that we think about ourselves. But subconsciously, we don't necessarily actually believe that. And I think our subconscious mind is actually what rules the show. That's the one that affects us when we're feeling triggered, when we're feeling really emotionally reactive. That's happening because of a subconscious trigger. Oftentimes, this happens in like the silent little moments where we notice, or maybe when we're falling asleep at night and our mind is just like really quietly, are you actually doing a good job though? Or are you maybe adding to the generational trauma that your kids are feeling instead of taking away from it? Does your husband actually like you as much as you think you do? It's like those tiny little like questions that that come during the pause, come during those silent moments that feel kind of like that inner critic. They kind of feel like critical to us. They feel like that inadequacy piece. So often how I describe shame is it feels like deep inadequacy that doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm doing or not doing. I can try and do more, or I can try and do less of what I don't want to be doing. But often it still feels there, like deep-seated under the surface, a feeling of inadequacy in my core, like my worth, my value, my me-ness. I also think it feels like I'm wrong versus my behavior is wrong. There's something wrong with me, not just like I did something wrong that I shouldn't have done, but something inside me is wrong. And I think that when we fail or we make mistakes, we often go to this. We try to go to guilt. We like try to go to, oh no, I just did something wrong. But our brain doesn't usually work that way. So often I find that we go to shame instead. We make it mean something about us. When shame is present, it feels really awful. It feels like something that we want to avoid. We want to push down. We want to pretend is not there. We want to escape in all the ways that we can because it doesn't feel good inside. It's most commonly thought of as an emotion. If you've read any Brene Brown, she talks a lot about shame being an emotion. David Bedrick, who I took a training through, the founder of the Santa Fe Institute for Shame-Based Studies, he says that it's a perception. It's how we perceive ourselves or how we're perceiving us in relation to how we might perceive other people. So regardless of if it's a feeling or it's a perception, we hate it and it doesn't feel good inside. And we do all that we can to avoid it. But the problem with avoiding it is that Brene calls she says it's like little gremlins in the closet. It's like mold, and like you put it in the cupboard and it just grows. It thrives in the dark. It thrives in the silence. And so as we pretend that it's not there and shove it down and push it away and escape it and avoid it, it keeps building and it keeps growing, and it shows up in ways that maybe we don't want it to show up in, which we'll talk about more in the next episode. Every human feels it. It's part of the human condition. So I used to say things like, oh, I wonder if I deal with shame. I don't know. I don't really know if I do. I switched that to, where is shame showing up for me in this arena? Is it showing up for me here or here? In this way or that way? Like, how is it? And so I started kind of allowing my subconscious mind to actually open up and show me that it really is, because it is everywhere. It's often rooted in identity, beliefs something is wrong with me, I'm not worthy of respect or love or belonging. It's part of me, it's part of my DNA, it's part of who I am. It feels like there's just deeply this feeling of wrongness within me. And again, it's not so action-based. I could try and do all of the actions that would make me feel better, but like under the surface, I still feel it there. That's what shame is. So we're going to talk about shame this whole podcast. But I first want to mention, like, you are not your thoughts. A thought that comes in doesn't make it true. Also, shame lies. Shame tells us the lie that there is something that's wrong with us, that we are deeply inadequate no matter what we do, that we always will be, and that there's something more wrong with us than there is with other people. Yeah, okay, they might feel this, but like I feel it even more. There's something even more wrong with me than others. And that's an interesting thing, because I've noticed that in myself, but then also a lot of clients that I've coached, like, how could there be something more wrong with me and with them and like with everybody that you've ever met? So I believe that a lot of the identities, a lot of the thoughts that shame gives us, our shame brain, often lies. Also, it tells us that something is uniquely wrong with us, and it feels like a problem that has to be fixed like right now. Like when I'm feeling shame, it feels really urgent. It feels like the problem's right in my face. It feels like it has to be fixed right now. My brain has to consistently be thinking and thinking and thinking about things in order to fix it. And also that maybe there isn't a solution. Sometimes I feel that way as well. I also think that everything else feels like sucky also. Like as soon as I feel that way, then I'm like, but also this part of my life is not cool. And I don't like this either. And really everything in my life is awful. Like when I get into shame, it's like the spiral. It's like the spin cycle of laundry. And like I get it, and then everything feels really bad. And I just keep spinning and spinning and spinning in it. So how can we find our shame? We look for triggers. We can look for triggers like emotional activation, emotional reactions. And we can ask ourselves questions like, what am I making this mean about me? What's underneath this? What's under the surface here? What's the hurt under the surface here? We can look into things like judgment. When am I being really judgmental about somebody else? Gabor Mate said this: when I'm sharply judgmental of any other person, it's because I sense or see reflected in them some aspect of myself that I don't want to acknowledge. We can look into scarcity. Maybe there's not enough time, there's enough money, there's not enough love. We can ask ourselves, do I feel like this is only true for me? Do I feel like it's more true for me than it is for other people? Like some other people can have an excess of those things, but I can't. I find shame in areas like money, body, parenting, relationships, sexuality, business, work. And this is how it shows up. I can look into scarcity. There isn't enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough love, etc. Do I feel like this is true for only me and not true for other people? Like other people can have it, but I can't. In the next couple of episodes, I'm going to talk more about how we can find shame, but that can give you just a little insight on not asking the question, do I deal with shame? But where is my shame? Where is shame showing up for me? What arena am I feeling it? And how does it show up for me? If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.